Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a field that's more than just threads and fabrics. It's about the brains behind the brawn textile machinery technicians.
Absolutely. We're talking about the folks who keep those massive machines humming, ensuring the world stays clothed and cozy.
And to help us untangle this career path, we've got our trusty AI companion, RoleCatcher. This platform is like having a secret weapon for interview prep, am I right?
You got it. It analyzes job descriptions, tailors your answers, even gives feedback on practice videos. No more generic responses, just pure interview gold.
Okay, I am sold. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's lay the groundwork. Textile machinery technician, it sounds pretty self-explanatory, but what's a typical day really look like?
Picture this. A symphony of whirring gears, spinning bobbins, and you're the conductor, making sure everything's in harmony. You're diagnosing problems, swapping out worn parts, fine-tuning those massive machines to perfection. It's fast-paced, it's hands-on, it's about keeping the wheels of the textile industry turning.
You're painting a vivid picture here. I'm sensing a theme of problem solving, a bit of a detective for all things mechanical. But what about the perks? Rollcatcher hinted at some pretty sweet benefits.
Oh, there are plenty. Job security is huge. Those machines aren't fixing themselves anytime soon. And for those with ambition, there's a clear path to climb that ladder, from entry level all the way up to management. Plus, you're at the forefront of cutting-edge tech, always learning, always adapting.
Music to my ears. Okay, let's get down to business. Rollcatcher's armed us with 10 common interview questions, so let's tackle those head on. Question 1. Can you describe your experience with textile machinery maintenance and repair? Where do we even begin with that?
This is your chance to shine, to really showcase your practical experience. Don't hold back on the specifics, the types of machinery you've wrangled, the challenges you've overcome, your responsibilities. Think back to a time you swooped in and saved the day.
So it's all about storytelling, painting a picture of my mechanical prowess. But how do we sprinkle in those technical details without losing the interviewer in a jargon jungle?
Think of it like this. You need to speak their language. Use the correct terminology to demonstrate your knowledge of machine components, those maintenance procedures, repair techniques. But remember, clarity is key.
Got it. Impress, don't perplex. Can you give me an example? Like if you were in the hot seat, how would you answer that question?
Okay, let's say I was responsible for maintaining industrial knitting machines at my last company. I might say something like, I once tackled a major production bottleneck caused by a malfunctioning machine. By quickly diagnosing the issue as a faulty yarn feeder, I was able to replace it with a spare, recalibrate the tension settings, and had the machine back up and running within the hour.
Wow, you make it sound so easy. Okay, question number 2. How do you ensure that textile machinery is running efficiently and safely? Two birds, one stone kind of deal.
This one's a double whammy, hitting both efficiency and safety. It's about showing you understand that a safe work environment is a productive work environment. No compromises.
So it's not just about being a stickler for the rules, but understanding how safety impacts the bigger picture, the bottom line.
Exactly. For efficiency, you can talk about preventative maintenance, optimizing those machine settings, minimizing downtime, that sort of thing. But when you address safety, really emphasize your commitment to following protocols, wearing that protective gear, identifying those potential hazards before they become real problems.
Because let's be real, nobody looks cool with a missing finger.
Exactly.
Okay, let's paint a picture for our listeners. Imagine you're in the interview, the pressure's on. How would you nail this answer?
I'd say something like, for me, safety and efficiency go hand in hand. I'm meticulous about following those preventative maintenance schedules, regularly inspecting the machinery for any wear and tear, and of course, making sure all safety guards are in place and functioning properly. Plus, I make it a point to stay updated on the latest safety regulations. Knowledge is power, right?
Right. You've just shown them you're not just a rule follower, you're a safety champion. Now, this next one seems particularly relevant in today's tech-driven world. Can you explain your familiarity with textile manufacturing processes? Now, I'm assuming they don't expect us to be talking textile encyclopedias.
You got it. It's more about demonstrating a solid understanding of the bigger picture. The key stages: think fiber preparation, then spinning, weaving, and finally finishing. You don't need to be a textile engineer, but knowing the general flow of materials and the purpose of those different machines is key.
So it's about connecting the dots between your role and the final product, from fluffy cotton ball to a perfectly woven t-shirt.
Exactly. A good answer might sound something like this. I've always been fascinated by how raw fibers transform into finished fabrics. It's incredible. I understand that it begins with preparing those fibers, cleaning, aligning, and spinning them into yarn. Then comes the weaving, where those yarns are interlaced to create the fabric, and finally those finishing touches, like dyeing and printing, bring it all together.
See, that wasn't so bad. You explained the entire process without getting lost in the weeds. Now, this next one is interesting. Can you explain your experience with digital textile machinery? That sounds pretty high-tech.
This is your opportunity to really show off your comfort level with technology. Because let's face it, digitalization is revolutionizing textile manufacturing, so employers are looking for tech-savvy technicians.
So, if you've got experience with fancy software or systems, now's the time to toot your own horn a little.
Exactly. Talk about how you've used technology to, say, diagnose problems, optimize machine performance, even implement those new production techniques.
So, for example, if I single-handedly programmed a computer to revolutionize the sock knitting process, this would be the time to mention it.
Without a doubt. That's a fantastic example of showcasing your technical prowess and how your skills translated into tangible results.
Got it. Okay, I'm ready to show off my digital dexterity. What's next?
All right, question number 5. How do you stay up to date with new textile machinery and technologies? This one is all about demonstrating your commitment to continuous learning.
Because in the world of tech, if you're not learning, you're falling behind, right?
Exactly. This is your chance to showcase your proactive approach to professional development. Talk about industry publications, online forums, trade shows, workshops, anything that shows you're ahead of the curve.
So if I claim to spend my weekends brushing up on the latest advancements in, say, spindle technology, that would be a good thing.
It certainly wouldn't hurt. A strong answer might be something like, I make a point to stay informed about the latest trends in textile technology. I subscribe to industry magazines like Textile World, follow influential figures on LinkedIn, and try to attend trade shows to see the new machinery in action and learn from other professionals.
Okay, I'm already feeling smarter just listening to this.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, how does RoleCatcher's AI factor into this interview prep? Does it, like, magically whisper the perfect answers in our ears?
Not quite telepathy, but it's pretty close. RoleCatcher analyzes the specific job description you're targeting, pinpointing those skills and experience the employer is looking for. Then, it suggests improvements to your answers, ensuring you're highlighting the most relevant parts of your background.
So it's like having a personalized interview coach in my pocket,
Yeah.
analyzing my every word and pushing me to be my best.
Precisely. It takes the guesswork out of interview prep and helps you put your best foot forward.
That's incredible. All right, let's get back to those interview questions. Question number 6. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a complex issue with textile machinery? Time to bring on those war stories, right?
Absolutely. This is where you showcase your problem-solving prowess. Choose an example that highlights those analytical skills, your ability to think critically under pressure, your persistence in finding solutions.
So it's not just about fixing the problem, it's about walking them through your thought process. Like, here's how my brain works when the pressure's on.
Exactly. Use the STAR method that's describing the situation, the task you are facing, the actions you took, and the result of your efforts. And don't forget to highlight the positive outcome. Did you save the day? Did you get production back up and running?
Okay, I'm already picturing myself as some sort of textile machinery hero. All right, give me an example. Let's say I was faced with a catastrophic yarn entanglement situation. Threads everywhere.
Okay, picture this. You confidently say, one time, a spinning frame malfunctioned, causing a massive yarn snarl that brought production to a standstill. I methodically isolated the problem to a faulty sensor, replaced it, rethreaded the entire system, and had the machine back online within a couple of hours, preventing further delays.
You make it sound so easy. Okay, on to question 7. Can you explain your experience with PLC programming for textile machinery? Now we're getting into the acronyms. PLC, help me out here.
PLC stands for Programmable Logic Controller, and they're basically the brains behind a lot of modern machinery. Think of them as mini computers that control how the machines operate.
Okay, so this question is about proving I can speak the language of these machine brains. Zeros and ones, here I come.
Exactly. If you've got PLC programming experience, this is your time to shine. Talk about the types of PLCs you've worked with, the programming languages you're familiar with, any specific projects where you really flex those coding muscles.
So if I, for example, single-handedly programmed a PLC to, I don't know, revolutionize the sock knitting process, this would be the time to mention it.
Absolutely. That's a prime example of demonstrating your technical skills and how those skills translated into real-world results.
I better brush up on my binary code. Now, for question 8, which takes a broader look at automation, can you explain your experience with textile machine automation systems? All right, time to dive into the world of robots and sensors.
You got it. The textile industry is embracing automation, so employers are definitely looking for technicians who can not only keep pace with, but excel in this tech-driven environment.
So if I can reprogram a robotic arm to, let's say, perfectly fold a fitted sheet, we should definitely mention that.
Absolutely. Discuss your familiarity with different automation technologies like robotics, sensors, vision systems, and how you've implemented, maintained, or even repaired these systems in your previous roles.
Got it. Automation is my middle name. Speaking of names, how does RoleCatcher's AI help me tailor my answers to different companies? Because let's face it, not all companies are created equal.
That's the beauty of it. RoleCatcher doesn't just have a general database of answers. It delves into the company's background, their specific needs, their company culture even.
Wait, so it's reading between the lines of the job description to figure out what they're really looking for, like some kind of interview mind reader.
You got it.
Yeah.
It uses that intel to help you fine-tune those answers so that they resonate on a deeper level with the hiring manager. It's like having a secret weapon.
Okay, I'm officially impressed. Now let's get back to the task at hand. Question number 9. Can you explain your knowledge of textile machinery safety regulations? This one sounds serious.
It is. Safety is paramount in this field. And this question isn't just about rattling off regulations, it's about proving that you live and breathe a safe work environment.
So it's not enough to just know the rules. I have to show them that safety is ingrained in my DNA, like a reflex.
Exactly. Familiarize yourself with OSHA regulations, industry-specific guidelines, lockout, pag-out procedures, anything that really shows you're serious about safety.
Safety first, always. Okay, and for our final question, question 10. Can you describe your experience with textile machinery installation and commissioning? This sounds like the grand finale of the textile machinery world.
It is. This question is testing your ability to handle the entire life cycle of a machine, from installation to startup and testing. It's about showcasing your meticulous attention to detail and your ability to follow those technical specifications to a T.
So it's like building a piece of furniture from IKEA instructions, except a million times more complex and with potentially disastrous consequences if you mess up.
That's a pretty accurate analogy. Describe your experience working with installation teams, following those manufacturer guidelines, and ensuring the machinery is properly calibrated and tested before it goes live on the factory floor.
So if I once installed an industrial sewing machine with my eyes closed, now would be the time to mention it.
Well, maybe leave out the part about your eyes being closed, but absolutely showcase your experience in a clear, concise way. For example, you could say, I was part of the team that installed a new weaving loom at our facility. I was responsible for connecting the electrical and pneumatic systems, verifying alignment, and running test patterns to ensure everything met the manufacturer's specifications.
Oh, that's impressive. Okay, we've covered some serious ground here, 10 questions down, and I feel like I could ace a textile machinery technician interview right now.
You're well on your way, but there's always more to learn.
Whew, those interview questions were intense. I need a coffee break. But seriously, it's amazing how much goes into keeping those textile machines running smoothly.
It's a demanding field, no doubt. The RoleCatcher Career Guide didn't shy away from mentioning the challenges like the physical demands, the long hours sometimes. But, it's that old saying, hard work builds character, or in this case, a killer resume.
So how do we spin those potential downsides, those challenges, into positives during an interview?
It's all about framing. Instead of shying away from the demands, you highlight your stamina, your eagerness to dive in, your willingness to go that extra mile. Remember that question about staying up to date? That's where you emphasize your passion for continuous learning, showing them you're not afraid of a challenge, you're drawn to it.
So it's like, hey, bring on the heavy lifting AD, the technical manuals, I'm ready.
Exactly. Turn those potential weaknesses into opportunities for growth. And don't forget to highlight your physical endurance. Got experience with demanding physical tasks? Weave those into your answers.
Okay, so it's about flipping the script, showing them I'm not some delicate flower who wilts under pressure. Now, I'm curious about those competency interview questions RoleCatcher mentioned. What are those all about?
Ah, yes. Those are becoming increasingly popular. Instead of just listing out your skills like a shopping list, competency-based questions ask you to demonstrate how you've actually applied those skills in real-life situations. It's about showing, not just telling.
So it's not enough to say, I'm a team player. I've got to back it up with a real-life example of how my amazing teamwork saved the day.
Exactly. Think back to situations where you demonstrated those key skills: leadership, problem-solving, communication, anything relevant to the job. And again, that STAR method we talked about. Still your best friend.
Okay, so let's say the interviewer throws me a curveball like, tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker. I'd use the STAR method to lay out the situation, my role, the actions I took, and hopefully a positive outcome. But what if there wasn't a positive outcome? What if it was a total disaster?
Even setbacks can be valuable learning experiences. Don't be afraid to talk about the challenges you faced. Just make sure you focus on what you learned from the experience and how you've grown. Employers, they value self-awareness and that willingness to learn from mistakes.
That's a relief. So it's less about being perfect and more about being genuine, showing that I'm always striving to improve, to be better. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, salary. The RoleCatcher Career Guide mentioned potential for a high salary, but it didn't get into specifics. How do I approach that dreaded salary question in an interview? Because, let's face it, nobody wants to work for peanuts.
That's where RoleCatcher's salary data comes in handy. They've got this amazing tool, lets you research average salaries for textile machinery technicians in your area with your level of experience, the whole 9 yards. Knowledge is power, right?
So I can waltz into that interview armed with hard data, ready to negotiate like a pro.
Exactly. Knowing your worth is absolutely crucial. Researching those salary ranges beforehand, it gives you the confidence to ask for what you deserve.
I love it. Confidence is key. But even with all this prep, what about those curveball questions that throw you completely off guard? Those ones that make you go, wait, what?
Ah, yes, the dreaded curveballs. Remember, even those unexpected questions are usually designed to assess your thought process, your ability to stay calm under pressure, those problem-solving skills we talked about.
So it's not always about having the right answer.
Yeah,
It's more about how I approach the problem.
precisely. Take a deep breath, gather your thoughts, and don't be afraid to ask clarifying questions. It's much better to appear thoughtful and thorough than to blurt out a half-baked answer.
Solid advice. And speaking of staying thoughtful, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier. The digital transformation of the textile industry. The RoleCatcher Career Guide. It really highlighted the growing importance of digital skills in this field. What does that mean for someone who's just starting out, who's dreaming of becoming a textile machinery technician?
It means that being tech-savvy is no longer optional. It's essential. We're talking computerized machinery, automated systems, data analysis, the whole shebang. The textile industry, it's evolving at warp speed. And those who can embrace technology, those are the ones who are going to thrive.
So brushing up on my coding skills, understanding how those robotic arms work, that's just as important as knowing how to fix a loom.
Exactly. The future of textile manufacturing, it's digital. Employers are looking for technicians who can not only operate and maintain these sophisticated machines, but who can also troubleshoot software glitches, analyze data, maybe even contribute to process improvements through automation. It's an exciting time.
Wow, that's both exhilarating and a little intimidating. It's like this career isn't just about keeping the wheels turning, it's about shaping the future of the entire industry.
And that's the beauty of it. It's a field that's constantly pushing those boundaries, offering so many opportunities for innovation, for creativity, for continuous learning. If you're someone with a thirst for knowledge, a passion for pushing those boundaries, this career path will never leave you bored.
Okay, I'm officially hooked. Now, we've covered a ton of ground here, from those nerve-wracking interview questions to the exciting world of digital textile manufacturing. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I have one final question for you, and it's a big one.
Bring it on.
We've talked about the technical side, the career paths, the challenges, the rewards, but I want to know, what does a successful textile machinery technician look like to you?
That's a fantastic question. To me, a successful textile machinery technician, they're a problem solver at heart. They're not intimidated by a challenge. They're energized by it. They're always eager to learn, to expand their knowledge base, to keep pace with the latest and greatest technology.
So it's that perfect blend of technical prowess and a genuine passion for the work.
Absolutely. They understand that their role is crucial, that they're a vital part of the entire production process. They take pride in their work, knowing that their skills and dedication have a direct impact on the quality, on the efficiency of that final product.
I love that. Having that sense of ownership, you're right. It's about being a vital part of something bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, before we wrap up, one last question for you, the golden nugget of wisdom. Imagine I'm about to walk into that interview. What's the one piece of advice, above all else, you'd give me?
You've prepped those answers, you've done your homework, but here's the secret sauce. Let your passion shine through. When you're talking about those incredible machines, the challenges you've overcome, let your enthusiasm, your genuine love for this field really light up the room.
Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to hire a robot, right? They want to see the human behind the skills, the passion that drives the work.
Exactly. Enthusiasm, it's contagious. It shows those employers that you're not just there for the paycheck, you're there because you genuinely love what you do.
And when you love what you do, you go the extra mile. You're eager to learn, you become an invaluable asset. Okay, that's some seriously inspiring advice. Before we sign off, any final words of wisdom from RoleCatcher? I gotta say, that platform has completely blown my mind today.
RoleCatcher, it's an incredible tool, no doubt, but remember, it's just one piece of the puzzle. Ultimately, it's your skills, your experience, your passion for the work. Those are the things that are going to drive your success.
It's like they say, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish. Well, he might just become a textile machinery technician.
Now you're getting it.
And on that note, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of textile machinery technicians. We explored the ins and outs of this dynamic career path, from acing those interviews to navigating the digital revolution that's transforming this industry.
It's a field that's brimming with opportunities for those who are willing to roll up their sleeves, embrace technology, and bring that passion to the factory floor.
And for those of you ready to take the leap, remember to check out RoleCatcher. They've got everything you need to prepare for that interview, negotiate that dream salary, and launch a successful career in this exciting field.
Best of luck on your journey. Remember, the future of textile manufacturing is waiting to be shaped by skilled and passionate individuals like you.
Perfectly said. That's all the time we have for today. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay passionate about your career journey.